Hello, creative cooks. Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Phoebe Cooks channel. I'm your host, Phoebe, and today we're making sushi. Maki sushi, uramaki sushi, sushi bowl. And we're going to spice things up by adding some plantains to my sushi because depending on what part of the world you live in, you should be able to afford the liberty to make your sushi as you like it, whether you're Asian, African, European, whatever it is. I'm also going to share a few tips on what to look out for when shopping for nori sheets. And then we're going to feast. I love this sushi edition. It's called Sushi Reimagined because why not? So let's get right to it by roasting some plantains, which would take the longest to cook. Now, with your plantains, you want them to be just ripe. If they're too ripe, it would be a little bit more acidic and you might not like that taste. So I'm cutting off the ends of the plantains. Without peeling the skin, cut your plantains into 3 to 4 long slices. The reason for leaving the skin on is to help with cutting the plantains, because if you peel the plantains before cutting them, the plantain will be sliding around on your work surface. So keep the skin on, slice up your plantains, and we'll go from there. Adding plantains gives this sushi a nice touch of sweetness, which also balances out the fresh flavors of the vegetables. And these sushi are going to be all plant-based, but if you'd like to add fish to yours, feel free to do that. Remove the flesh of the plantains from the skin before laying them down on your parchment-lined baking sheet to get them ready for roasting. I'm not going to do too much in terms of seasoning for these plantains. All I'm going to do is drizzle a nice layer of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, transfer it to the oven to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. And then about midway, I'll check on it to give it a flip so you can continue roasting and roast evenly on both sides. Now, while the plantains are roasting, I'm going to be making sushi rice in quinoa. Now you can see Phoebe is making quite a bit of switch up for this sushi, and I love it. Adding quinoa will level up that protein content for your sushi, especially if you're having it for lunch, for dinner, and you want to make sure you're maxing out on your goals when it comes to your protein intake. So be sure to add in that quinoa and wash your grains really well about 2 to 3 times until the water turns clear. Be sure to use a sieve to catch the quinoa grains because they're a lot smaller than the short grain rice. Then keep on washing, and then I'll transfer it to a stock pot to cook. Now let me know in the comment section below, is this something you'll try, adding quinoa to your sushi rice? Or I like to say short grain rice, because the term sushi rice might be a bit confusing for people who are beginners in making sushi. And trust me y'all, I'm also a beginner in making sushi, but it's a beautiful low stress recipe that you can make your way. Add in some water and start to cook the grains on medium heat. That will cook for about 14 minutes. Then I will reduce it to low to cook for another 6 to 7 minutes until they're well cooked and softened. I did flip the plantains. That would give them a chance to roast evenly on both sides. If you feel like your plantains are getting done quicker than the 25 to 30 minute mark, be sure to remove it from your oven so that it doesn't burn. All right, my grains are cooking. They're doing really, really well. And I'm going to add in another component to the making of the sushi. Here I have some raw green beans. I'm going to steam these in a steaming basket over some simmering water that's already on the stove, doing its thing. Just cut off the ends of your green beans and add it to your steaming basket. The most forgiving thing I really like about sushi is that you can really make it your way. You can add in as many toppings as you want, making these rolls fat rolls, which is actually a thing when making sushi called fatumaki. I made a whole lot of fatumaki sushi rolls. All right, you'll see them. My grains are steamed, well done, nice and sticky. And I'm going to turn up the heat, allow it to, reduce in temperature. And I'm going to make sure that my green beans are done so I can set them aside so they don't get mushy, not too overcooked. Just want them nice, have a nice bite to it when chewing on your sushi. I'm making some seasoning for the rice, and that's 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, some honey or agave if you prefer. I'm going to add in also a nice drizzle of sesame oil and a sprinkle of Himalayan salt. You can add in more vinegar or less vinegar to suit your taste. Some may like their rice to have a lot more of that tart taste, and so adjust it to your liking and see what works for you. Be sure to incorporate that seasoned rice vinegar into the grains until the grains are well coated. Adjust the seasonings to make sure your rice tastes like you want it. The plantains are done. Set them aside, and I'm gonna prepare the fresh components for the sushi. This just makes the sushi taste amazing. It elevates the total flavor profile of each bite. So I have some carrots, there's some radishes. Next, I'm going to add in some cucumbers. I slice these cross-sectionally, but feel free to cut them lengthwise and remove the seed of the cucumber so your sushi doesn't get watery. And what's sushi without avocado? To add in that nice creamy factor to your sushi so your sushi doesn't taste dry. Slice up your avocado to your liking and set it aside. I'm going to slice up the plantains here to make it very easy to roll up the sushi when I insert it onto the sushi roll. So cut it up into quarters and set them aside. You could also leave some whole or just cut them in half when you're making your sushi bowl. That way you can have, nice sizes of plantains to chew on while you're having your sushi bowl. All right, I'm about to do all the layering process. This is the fun part of it. Rice is ready, all the components are ready. Spread your rice and quinoa grains on your nourish sheet, making sure to cover as much surface as possible. Cilantro, lime, sunflower dressing made with sunflower seeds. Add on some radish slices, some of those steamed green beans, plantains, sprouts. I'll add in a link below on how I make my own homemade sprouts, as well as some slices of red bell pepper, cilantro, and a really tasty seaweed seasoning. If you have furikake seasoning, you can also do that, but I didn't, so I improvised as well as I wanted to. Then roll up this goodie. You want to tuck it really tightly so that your toppings don't fall out. And then secure the entire contents in your sushi roll by using a sushi mat. If you don't have a sushi mat, I've got you covered. Be sure to check the link in the description box below. That way you can secure yourself a nice sushi making kit. Alright, so the first roll I made was a maki roll. And this one is a uramaki roll, which is a inside out sushi. So the rice and quinoa grains stay on the outside of the sushi. Now you gotta finesse this when you're flipping it. And be sure to use a cling film wrap layer to help you flip it so that the rice doesn't stick to your sushi mat. Which, if you're making this for the first time, it might be a little hard to roll the sushi roll with just the mat. So be sure to add in the cling film wrap and top up your nourish sheet with however many toppings you want to add to it, and you can roll it up. I have some chives. I also have in some bok choy, red bell peppers, julienne carrots. Got some purple carrots as well as orange carrots. Don't forget those cucumbers for a nice refreshing taste that would really make that sushi juicy and not too dry. I also added a sprinkle of my seaweed seasoning, and I'm gonna roll this up. You see why it's important to do this on a cling film wrap? It makes it easier to roll. And while I'm rolling my uramaki, we're going to talk about the ingredient of the week, and that is nourish sheets. So join me for some grocery shopping for nourish sheets to make as much sushi as we'd like. Now you're probably very familiar with this ingredient for making sushi as well in Japanese cuisine, but some of them come in salted, some come in seasoned with avocado oil, but make sure to read the fine print because some of them can be dangerous for you, like this California warning, which can affect your reproductive health. So be sure to keep watch on that and do not choose that option. Choose one that is plain and simple. Pray over your food and the Lord will protect you. Okay? If you're also new to this ingredient, you can typically find this particular one in either the international cuisine aisle if you're visiting a Western grocery store, or you can easily find it in an Asian store and they'll be happy to help you. Now let me know in the comment section below, aside from sushi, what else do you use nourish sheets for? Because I'm always excited to learn new ways to make really good food. Now that my uramaki roll is well done, first of all, let me just be very honest with you. That was my first time making a uramaki roll. That entire rolling out the rice thing on the outside of the sushi. That's to tell you that even you can make it if you've never made it before. And if you've had, teach me something in the comment section below. Okay? Slice it up, set it aside, and I'm going to go ahead and slice up. Actually, before slicing up the next roll, wipe your knife to make really nice cuts. Slice up that maki roll and set it aside. I'm going to make one more roll because I want to show you a tip when it comes to troubleshooting the rolling up of your sushi. The best way to make sure that the very last edge of your sushi roll is cohesive with the entire roll, make sure to press down your sticky grains at that edge that's further away from you. That way, when it's time for you to roll your sushi, that edge won't be falling apart because the sticky rice will cling to the nourish sheet that you're rolling into it. If you have issues with that, maybe try a nice dab of water. Just a dab, just a dab. I'm gonna reiterate that and say just a dab because you do not want your nourish sheets to crinkle up on you when it should be rolling up your sushi. Okay, so check that out. I'm going to set these aside and get on to making my sushi bowl. Same thing. Make sure to add in a nice layer of your grains. In my case, it's short grain rice and quinoa, julienne carrots. Don't forget your plantains because it just takes it to another level. Radish slices, bok choy, some of that cilantro lime, sunflower dressing. If you'd like a recipe for that, let me know in the comment section below. Top up your sushi bowl with some slices of nori sheets, and do not forget your pickled ginger. I actually pickled my ginger with some rice wine vinegar, honey and salt, and bam. Sushi is ready. Let me know in the comment section below what time of the day you like your sushi. Breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, snack. Let me know. Put a time to it and let me know where you are tuning in from. And while you're at it, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching all the way through. I'm your host, Phebe. I share recipes every week, and this month I'm featuring Japanese recipes, hence sushi for today. Now that was a good bite of sushi. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you really love this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Share it with all your loved ones, your sushi friends, people that want to make sushi but don't know how to yet, and chat all about it. Now, you already know I'm feasting and I want you to feast too. So I really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know if you have any questions. I have 2 more Japanese recipes for this month that are coming up this week, so be sure to stay tuned so you do not miss them. And hint, ramen is one of them. All right, with that said, happy cooking. Let me know when you try out this recipe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll chat again in the next video. Bye bye.